Good morning, people. Welcome to Devotions again today. Sitting in a little bit of rain here. It's beautiful and just so refreshing for the country right now. We're really grateful. Just want to talk to you about our theme. We're talking about the theme of stand, what it means to stand in Scripture, standing on, standing in, standing with, all those beautiful aspects of this very powerful concept. We're talking about standing up right now. We've done standing on, the foundation on which we build our Christian experience. But now we've got to stand up. We stand up for Jesus. We stand up for the cause. We stand up for so many really good things. But yesterday we spoke about a guy, we find his story in the book of Acts. His name is Barnabas, who understood what it meant to stand up for one another. If there's one thing we need in the church right now, it's pretty much that we would stand up for each other. When we stand up for each other, it means you don't have to stand up for yourself. There will be somebody standing up for you. I think we could do this probably a whole lot better. But Barnabas is a great picture of this. And just as I was chatting with Errol this last today, he just reminded me of a couple of other incidences that are really worth mentioning in the life of this remarkable man, Barnabas. His story begins in chapter 4 of the book of Acts. And here he is standing up financially for the people around in the church around that are poor, that have nothing to eat. It's a really tough time of persecution. And we read how in chapter 4, this man, his name was originally Joseph, and they renamed him to Barnabas, which means the sons of encouragement. And he stood up for the poor people in the church. He went out there. He was obviously a man of means. And he went out and he sold a piece of ground. And he came back and he gave the money, it says, to the disciples and said, use this for the good of the congregation. He stood up for them at the point of their greatest need. Now notice his humility here. He's not making an exhibition of himself. He's not saying, rah, rah, check me out. Look what I have done for the people. I really am somebody. Not like Ananias and Sapphira in the next chapter, who saw what Barnabas did and thought, man, look at the credit he got. We could use a bit of that credit as well. But for them, they failed in doing the same thing, but they had the wrong motive. Anyway, Barnabas stood up for the people in the church, those marginalized people. That's a good thing to do. And then a little bit later, we read how Barnabas stood up for Saul. Now, Saul, was a persecutor of the church. He had that incredible intervening experience with Jesus on the road to Damascus, and Jesus revealed himself. Paul committed himself to follow Christ, and he was never the same again. But now he had to convince the people that his conversion had been legitimate. So he goes into the city and he wants to go and meet with the disciples. They've heard about his reputation, and they say, hey, we're not so sure about this guy, Saul. We've heard that he's a persecutor of the church. We think this is just him being clever. He wants to come and spy us out so he can arrest us and kill us like he's done to many others. Barnabas hears about this, hears Saul's story, goes to the disciples and said, hey guys, we need to give him a chance. I think his story is legit. I think he really is one of us. And he went to Saul and he encouraged him, and he physically took him to meet with the disciples. And they're all sitting there with 45-degree angle looks saying, hey, we're not so convinced you are who you say you are, until Barnabas opened his mouth and said, guys, you can trust him. The son of encouragement coming back into the scene yet again. It's beautiful because thereafter we see Barnabas intervening in the argument we spoke about yesterday between Paul and between John Mark, and how he was able to restore that relationship, encourage them both. I read a stunning article today that said, where would Paul be without a Barnabas? Where would John Mark be without a Barnabas? And there are only two that are mentioned. There's probably myriads of others who enjoyed the benefit of knowing the son of encouragement, this guy called Barnabas. His story begins with humility, continues right the way through. It's interesting, you can note here, that when the early church wanted to go on a mission, they called Barnabas and they called Saul to do this particular mission trip. And on one particular mission trip, the name was reversed. All of a sudden, it became Paul and Barnabas, and they went on these mission trips together. And Paul overtook Barnabas in authority, in standing up. He was the main speaker, and Barnabas just smiled, and he would have said, man, it's such an honor to make Paul, now Paul, after an incident of intervention again, where his name changed from Saul to Paul. It's a beautiful story. Read it, man. And now it's all of a sudden, from then onwards, we read about Paul and Barnabas, whereas it began with Barnabas and Paul. We say what happened. Barnabas took one look at Paul and said, you are the man. My job is to get less so that you can become more. And he became an encourager, not a leader anymore in that sense of the word, but he encouraged Paul in his journey. I guess now you know why I say, doesn't the church need more Barnabases out there? People who are not trying to get their name out there in lights, not trying to grab center stage with the pulpit and all that kind of stuff. No. Their mission is far bigger than that. Their mission is to make other people great. And in so being, and so doing, they become the greatest in the kingdom. It's a paradox. It's beautiful. It's going to be Barnabases if we can. If that's what you're calling as people. You know what? I'm so grateful some Barnabases in my life. People have phoned me and sent me messages. People have said kind words. And I've got to tell you, we need those kind of people in the church. Probably more than we need any other time. So let's go and do it. Have a great day, people. We love you lots. And let's be a Barnabas today and in the days to come as well. Have a good day. Bye.